Coming up on this edition of the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle, we'll recap the trip to the Sunshine State for the Seahawks. We'll also introduce you to graduate guard Shaquem Phillips in this week's player profile. He's played his entire career here at UNCW. John Smith will sit down with him. We'll also have our player of the week, and we'll get you set for the week ahead for UNCW, taking on rival East Carolina in Greenville and the first ever matchup with the Kentucky Wildcats. All that straight ahead on the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle. It starts right now. Anticipated pass. Oh, Whitfield dunk this time from Trezarian White. Instead of dunk for Horton Hayes.
Come on, pressure it! Pressure it!
Well, UNCW was a week-long trip to Florida for the Seahawks, getting 3 games down there. Mike Vaccaro here with the coach, Takeo Siddle. And Coach, overall this season, 5-1 now. You go 2-1 there in Florida. You told me on your radio show the other day you thought it was a really good week for you guys. Even though you lost a game there, you thought, in retrospect, it was a 3-0 week for you.
Yeah, I thought it was a great time for our guys to get away and spend some time with each other and connect a little bit better. During that trip, we experienced the good, the bad, the ugly. I think we experienced some adversity, and I think we responded the right way. I think we responded collectively as a team.
Let's talk about the first game against Murray State out of the Missouri Valley Conference, a very good team historically. And you go into this game, I know you were a little concerned, you didn't have your best game, but you're able to pull it out in overtime and showed something about what this team is made of.
Yeah, they're well coached, Mike, and got a lot of respect for their head coach and the program. They've had a lot of success, and guys making it to the NBA, deep tournament runs, and their coach coming back from Iowa State for his second stint there, and he had previous success. I was very concerned about their physicality and then their style of play. Being physical, being deliberate, and taking their time and getting exactly what they wanted. So my whole thing was imposing our will and making sure we played our system. And I didn't think we did that well until like the last 7 minutes of regulation and then going into overtime. We turned it up a notch, and we were able to get a great victory.
Yeah, really, I thought down the stretch, you had about 5% probability of winning that game, but 50-50 balls, you made those plays, you made some key free throws down the stretch. What did you learn about your kids learning it and winning in that fashion?
Well, I learned that we're very resilient and very connected, because you don't make a comeback like that and stick with it the way that we did without being those things. And, it was a good learning lesson for us. And I thought it would wake us up going into the next game, but it takes time. It takes time to really start doing your system the way you want it to be done. And like I said, we learned a lot on the trip.
Well, the Murray State game, again, an overtime victory, 83-81, the final score for UNCW. 23 for Malik Harden-Hayes to lead the way for the Seahawks. And Coach, in your career, you're undefeated in overtime games, 7-0 now in your 4 seasons. What does that say about maybe you and also the program of your kids to respond in the fashion that they need to in overtime? Well,
it speaks volumes to our depth that we have this year and in the previous years. Speaks volume to our, our conditioning. We get up and down a lot in practice, and I always talk to them about that going into overtime. This is where our conditioning kicks in at. And we move on to the next play. We don't say, hey, man, we should have won in the regulation. We just move on and don't even think about it. And we go out there and, we play winning basketball.
And that's what it was on Monday in the Fort Myers tip-off. UNCW gets that win against Murray State. Coach, a quick turnaround as you played at noon against App State on Tuesday. And this was a game where you went on a nice run. You're up 10 close to halftime, but then things kind of turned and App State took control of this game. What did you see from your kids? What lessons maybe did you learn about your team in this game?
Well, and give a lot of credit to App State. They imposed their will on us. They were very physical, and you could see as the game went on Their physicality started to wear us down. We were unable to do anything that we had talked about. So, you know, it was one of those things where we go into it, we don't play well, we go back, look at the film, and it was just, you know, we didn't show any humility in what we were doing. And we got what we deserved, but I thought we learned from it and moved on and finished off strong.
Yeah, it became a good teaching moment for UNCW in this game. Trezarian White led the way with 15, KJ Jenkins 12 points. The two leading scores for UNCW. Struggled, though, 31% shooting in this contest, 86-56 the final score against App State. Coach, again, the quick turnaround, did you think that was any bit of a factor in this game? You had the quick turnaround. They hadn't played on Monday, and you did?
Maybe. You know, you can think about it a couple different ways. You can think about it, you got a game under your belt on that floor, and then they had a long layoff before they played us, so you could think about it two ways. But tournament situations, Mike, you notice you just have to block all that out, and you have to go out there and compete to win. I think it affected some of our guys. You know, Malik played 38 minutes the game before.
Yeah.
And you could really tell in his production or lack of production in that game. And but no excuses. They won the game, and we learned a lesson from it.
So UNCW went 1-1 in that Fort Myers tip-off. After that, the Seahawks went to Florida Gulf Coast on Saturday. We'll take a break, talk about that matchup coming up next.
It's that time of year again, America. So let's light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. Get special offers on our adventure-ready SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. And make the holidays bright with Ford. Now get 1.9% financing for 60 months, plus up to $1,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your Carolina Ford dealer today.
Hey, grab me one too.
Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast bake goodness into your morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, biscuit and gravy, or a country fried steak biscuit. Any two, just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Get exclusive offers on the Hardee's app.
I'm just being myself, cool as can be.
It's so easy. Get out your own way.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe, candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper to add a whole new level of goodness to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anytime. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Well, after the first loss of the young season for UNCW, how would they respond? And that was the question, Coach, I know that you had in your mind, and some really good days of prep in between that setback to App State and getting ready for Florida Gulf Coast. What did you see from your kids as they prepared for the Eagles?
We were locked in. You know, for me, it was stressful. You know, before you get your first win of the season, you're always stressed out. You think you have a good team, but you don't know how they're going to respond in games. So we went through that, and then we experienced our first loss. So I'm stressed out again, don't know how they're going to respond, but I always thought back to our character that we had in the locker room and how much they care. You know, we went through some tough love, and we built them back up going into the game, but we were really focused. We had some really good prep days. I think it carried over into the game.
You're a coach that hangs your hat on defense, and to see them respond the way they did and really a season-best defensive effort against Florida Gulf Coast, holding them, you know, to just 55 points and a poor shooting percentage as well. That had to put a smile on your face.
Yeah, it made me happy. You know, I've always said that we could score the basketball. We have so many different weapons, but really, what's really going to help us get over the hump this year is our defensive effort, our defensive output. And so for the guys to get that message and really lock in on that end of the floor, you know, it made me feel like we were growing a little bit.
Yeah, just 35% shooting for Florida Gulf Coast in this game. Again, just 55 points. The Seahawks win the game 71-55. The final score, 3 in double figures. It was Trezarian White coming off the bench with 22 to lead the way. Shaquem Phillips with 15, 14 for Malik Harden-Hayes. So really your 3 leading guys do that offensively in this game. But I thought, again, those 50-50 balls, especially early on, bodies were diving on the floor. That was a good scene, I'm sure, for you to see those guys just lay it out all on the line in the game.
Yeah, we set the tone with the 50-50 balls from the jump, with the jump ball. And then, you know, the early rebounds, the early loose balls that were on the ground, we were able to be first to those and attack them with 2 hands, and we had a lot of our bodies around them. So that was important. We talked about it. You know, we're a smaller team, but we have to be more scrappy, and we have to swarm the basketball. And I think the guys are starting to see that. And, you know, I think they're starting to have a little fun with it, and it's helping us win games.
Early in that first half as well, you went 5 in, 5 out. That was by design as well, and it certainly helped keep that energy level high.
We want to continue to do that. Like I always say, everybody deserves to play. They all practice hard. They all put the work in. They all are good kids and have great attitudes. It's a stressful job for me, and it's tough for me because I'm trying to figure out how to get them all minutes and keep them happy. But I want to continue to do that because I think it really helps us.
Well, again, a big bounce-back game for UNCW. 71-55, the final score. The Seahawks now once again 5-1, 6 games into this young season as they had that nice bounce-back victory against Florida Gulf Coast. We'll take another break here. When we get back, we'll introduce you, or reintroduce you maybe, to Shaquem Phillips. He's been here for quite some time. John Smith will sit down with him when we return.
People have trusted Reed's Jewelers with their life's moments since 1946. That's because we're family owned. We treat everyone who walks through our doors or visits our website as a part of our family. We have a beautiful selection of jewelry and watches for any occasion. We offer free shipping and returns, as well as multiple payment options to make sure you find the perfect gift. See why people have trusted Reed's Jewelers to celebrate their life's moments for over 75 years.
Game day at Walk-Ons is just different, and it starts with the way our teammates prep each dish from our scratch menu. No shortcuts. We are hand-cutting every single mozzarella log straight from the block, hand-peeling, stuffing, and bacon wrapping each voodoo shrimp, hand-carving ribeyes for our steaks and po' boys, and hand-slicing, then tossing our boneless wings in our house-made sauces. With wall-to-wall TVs and food like this, why would you want to watch anywhere else? That's game day, the Walk-Ons way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chad Fortune with Wilmington Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Excited to be on the UNCW campus today to talk to you about this week's Medical Minute. Shoulder injuries are extremely common in sports, recreational, and job-related activities. These injuries can range from chronic overuse injuries to traumatic injuries like shoulder separations, dislocations, and even rotator cuff tears. Sometimes injuries can be prevented, but sometimes with traumatic injuries they are not preventable. But we always talk about preventative strategies to try to limit their effects. One of the biggest things to consider is rotator cuff strength as well as upper back strength, in addition to good posture throughout your day. As always, if these symptoms persist, please come see us at Wilmington Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Our goal is to support you with easily accessible world-class care for all your orthopedic and sports medicine needs.
Preparing for the big game, athletes practice countless hours year-round. Then, it's game time, and their fans get to see the results, cheering on their team to a win. At Coastline Insurance, we're working hard behind the scenes, preparing for when you need us, because we want our customers to be our biggest fans. Let Coastline Insurance shop your coverage and find out why we say, when we shop, you win. Find us online at coastlineinsurance.com.
Time now for the Pepsi player profile. It is Shaquem Phillips, the graduate guard from Winterville, who's been here for 5 years, Coach. And, you know, we talk about him a lot. I know every time I talk about him, it puts a smile on your face because this is a kid who really embodies what it means to be a Seahawk.
It does. I mean, he does. I mean, you know, he's an everyday guy, Mike. Everyday guy both on and off the court. I haven't had any issues with him for 5 years. You know, he hasn't missed a class. He hasn't showed up late for anything. You know, he's everything that I want our players to be about. He's about the right things.
And now in his final season, he continues to grow as a player. I think you're seeing him continue to be a scorer. He's a distributor now as a point guard, and he's still defending without fouling right now, knock on wood with that. But, you know, what are you seeing with him in his game continuing to develop?
Well, he's just growing. You know, he's mature, so he's starting to play like a veteran guy. You know, he's starting to be more vocal and be a leader. You know, maybe a couple years ago, he may have thought about scoring. And then going into last year, he was thinking about scoring, and he struggled a little bit because he couldn't find a rhythm. And then he had to take on a different role. And I think all of that has helped him. All he cares about now is winning, and that's why you see him playing so well.
Yeah, certainly one of the leaders on this team, Shaquem Phillips. Again, our Pepsi player profile, John Smith, has more on the graduate guard.
Welcome back. John Smith here with Shaquem Phillips, graduate student here at UNCW, point guard extraordinaire. Not just point guard, just like guard. In this offense, how does your role work? You're a ball-dominant player, but it's also to facilitate and score and kind of do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to make the right plays. I can play on the ball, off the ball.
This year, is that going to change at all with the personnel, or how's the offense working?
I think this year I'm gonna be a little bit more on the ball. I got great shooters around me, so be able to playmate and get them guys open looks.
Throughout the years, this team has been looked at differently throughout the preseason polls. You know, you started where there wasn't a lot of respect for the program, and not saying that you shocked the world, but you go off and you win a CBI championship and you do that. Now those roles are kind of reversed, and you guys are the team that everybody's chasing. How do you kind of take that noise and put it away and realize that there's still kind of like that eye on the prize?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we try not to just get into that, looking into the preseason polls or the rankings or whatever. We just try to take it day by day, you know what I'm saying? Preseason rankings and all that awards, it really don't mean nothing. It's what you do in season, so we got to just take it day by day.
Your role, are you that leader that is going to go out there and show it on the court, or are you going to be somebody that kind of, if somebody's not doing their job, kind of get after them and tell them, hey, we got to get this done today, or you let the coaches do that?
I think this year I'm going to try to do both, hold guys accountable, as long as they holding myself accountable too, and, being that leader on the court too, if that's vocal or, showing, I think I could do both.
This year's roster, there's so many veterans back, which for you, it's kind of been, not saying a revolving door, but each year it's been kind of some new guys are coming in to contribute. This year you have a nice core back. Is it nice having familiar faces that you know what each person can do on the basketball court?
Yeah, it's always nice having a group of guys you play with for a year or two, knowing what they can do, already knowing, what kind of skills they got. It's always easier to play with that.
You kind of have, over the years, battled with a different injury here and there. What were you able to do in the off season to kind of make sure that your body's ready for that grind of 30-plus games?
Yeah, my off season training was different. I put on some good weight, some good healthy weight. Just doing a bunch of recovery stuff, ice tub, icing, a lot of mobility.
Do you have to change your style of play because you are somebody that likes to go to the hoop, you like to get that contact, but do you have to realize sometimes that might not be the best thing for the team?
Right, yeah. I wouldn't say I changed my style of play, but I would definitely be taking a lot more jump shots this year, for sure.
Those hits and falling to the court, you're more important on the court than you are, right, on the bench. Right. If there is going to be a newcomer or somebody that's going to surprise people, who is that?
Surprise, I probably got to go with KJ. I wouldn't say it was a surprise because we all know what he can do, but that guy can shoot the heck out the ball, and it's going to be fun to watch him get after it.
where do you take more pride, offensively or defensively? I know that Coach Siddle is all about the defense, and you know, you have that freedom offensively if you play defense. Do you take more pride in that?
Yeah, I definitely take more pride in defense. I like guarding the best player on the other opposing team, and that's always been like what I like to do. So I think I definitely take more pride on the defensive end.
Well, we appreciate you being back this season. We'll be right back.
Appreciate you.
It's that time of year again, America. So let's light up the season during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. Get special offers on our adventure-ready SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks, and make the holidays bright with Ford. Now get 1.9% financing for 60 months, plus up to $1,500 cash back on select Ford SUVs. See your Carolina Ford dealer today.
Hey, grab me one too.
Hardee's 2 for $5 breakfast bake goodness into your morning. Choose a biscuit with sausage and egg, biscuit and gravy, or a country fried steak biscuit. Any two, just $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Get exclusive offers on the Hardee's app.
I'm just being myself, cool as can be.
It's so easy. Get out your own way.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe, candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper to add a whole new level of goodness to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anytime. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Well, time now for the Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week, and it is Malik Harden-Hayes. So many great performances and players to choose from, but Malik Harden-Hayes, as you look at the numbers there, averaged over 13 points, over 6 rebounds as well, shot the ball extremely well. And again, Coach, you're seeing some really good things. He's one of your top 3 guys, Trazarian White, Malik Harden-Hayes, and Shaquem Phillips, and he's performing at a high level right now.
Mike, we ask him to do so much. You know, he plays positions 3, 4, and 5 for us. We ask him to pick up full court. He plays so hard, and he just throws his body on the line every night. He works on his game. He's always in the film room. He's always, asking questions. And, it reminds me a lot of Jalen Sims with how he approaches, on and off the court. And, for him to have this success that he's having right now, it's earned for sure.
And he had 2 key free throws against Murray State in that overtime victory. Late in that contest, you needed those. I know you said in the huddle you're talking about, okay, if he misses, and he said he wasn't going to miss.
Yeah, he shut that down pretty quick. We tried to keep him out of the huddle, but he walked over and to see what we were talking about. But he came over and he said, hey, I got this. Don't worry about it. If you look back at last year, he shot close to 90% from the free throw line. He's a guy that takes advantage of his opportunities when he gets on the line. So we have full confidence in him to make those 2 free throws.
And he's really another success story from the transfer portal for you guys. You've utilized that portal to an advantage for this program here, getting great character guys and guys that fit into the program, and he's certainly one of them.
He is. This is the first thing that we talk about is his character, and he checked that box. As a player, we thought we were getting a good player, but he's exceeded all expectations that we had for him, and it's all because of his hard work.
So again, this week's Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week, Malik Harden-Hayes. We'll take our final break, back to preview the week ahead for UNCW. Stay with us.
People have trusted Reed's Jewelers with their life's moments since 1946. That's because we're family owned. We treat everyone who walks through our doors or visits our website as a part of our family. We have a beautiful selection of jewelry and watches for any occasion. We offer free shipping and returns, as well as multiple payment options to make sure you find the perfect gift. See why people have trusted Reed's Jewelers to celebrate their life's moments for over 75 years.
Game day at Walk-Ons is just different, And it starts with the way our teammates prep each dish from our scratch menu. No shortcuts. We are hand cutting every single mozzarella log straight from the block. Hand peeling, stuffing, and bacon wrapping each voodoo shrimp. Hand carving ribeyes for our steaks and po' boys. And hand slicing, then tossing our boneless wings and our house-made sauces. With wall-to-wall TVs and food like this, why would you want to watch anywhere else? That's game day, the walk-on's way.
Hi, I'm Dr. Chad Fortune with Wilmington Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Excited to be on the UNCW campus today to talk to you about this week's Medical Minute. Shoulder injuries are extremely common in sports, recreational, and job-related activities. These injuries can range from chronic overuse injuries to traumatic injuries like shoulder separations, dislocations, and even rotator cuff tears. Sometimes injuries can be prevented, but sometimes with traumatic injuries they are not preventable. But we always talk about preventative strategies to try to limit their effects. One of the biggest things to consider is rotator cuff strength as well as upper back strength, in addition to good posture throughout your day. As always, if these symptoms persist, please come see us at Wilmington Health Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Our goal is to support you with easily accessible world-class care for all your orthopedic and sports medicine needs.
Preparing for the big game, athletes practice countless hours year-round. Then, it's game time, and their fans get to see the results, cheering on their team to a win. At Coastline Insurance, we're working hard behind the scenes, preparing for when you need us, because we want our customers to be our biggest fans. Let Coastline Insurance shop your coverage and find out why we say, when we shop, you win. Find us online at coastlineinsurance.com.
Well, UNCW in the middle of a 5-game road swing that continues close to home in Greenville on Thursday, then to Kentucky on Saturday. Coaches talk about ECU, the rivalry here. Again, old school UNCW fans know it as a conference rivalry no longer, but this is always a good matchup, and you're going to Greenville on Thursday night.
We're excited about the opportunity, Mike. You know, it's one of those things where we won't talk about how many games we played on the road or how many we have left. We're just staying in the moment. Our practice is important today, and our prep Wednesday and Thursday before we play the game is important. Just focusing in on the day that's in front of us and, you know, keeping ECU in our mind for sure. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. They're playing some really good basketball. They returned a lot of guys from last year. It's a rivalry game, like you said. So we have to go down there and we have to be ready to execute on both ends.
Yeah, so again, a good matchup here, UNCW and ECU Thursday in Greenville at 7 o'clock. And then you head to Lexington, Kentucky to take on the Wildcats of Kentucky, first ever meeting between the Seahawks and Kentucky. And partly this came together because of Coach Calipari, his time here at UNCW playing for Mel Gibson. But to go down there and have that opportunity must be nice for these kids playing, you know, a national ranked team in Kentucky. Yeah,
it'll be a great opportunity. Obviously, we got to take care of business until we get there, but I'm excited for our guys. And, you know, it's going to be fun for them to play in front of that crowd, to play in that venue. It's so historic. So it'll be a tough challenge for us.
All right, so UNCW on the road. We're on the road with them as well. We'll have both those games for you on 95.9 The Breeze, the Sunrise Radio app as well. 6:45 airtime Thursday from Greenville, 3:45 our airtime from Lexington on Saturday. So 2 games on the road for UNCW before they're back home. Coach, best of luck here this week.
Thank you, Mike.
For Takeo Siddle, our entire crew, I'm Mike Vaccaro. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle. Anticipated pass. Oh, Whitfield dunk this time from Trezarian White. Instead of dunk for Horton Hayes.
Come on, pressure it! Pressure it!